Hello and welcome back to the Minetrek.net game server. This will just be a short update, a follow-up to updates from yesterday. The second part of those updates, the second update rather, got delayed because my system decided to reboot itself after I decided to go to bed. Thank you, Windows and Microsoft, for taking control of my computer away from me. It's what a progressive liberal thing to do. Anywho, I needed to clarify some things, and I did do some work to try and address some of the issues that were bugging me before I went to bed. First and foremost, I wanted to go through and make sure that what I did through here didn't affect what M was trying to do. So what I did is I moved my corridors forward, and that gives room through here. We can take room through here, and this right here, if we need more room, I can remove this. So, because this one here actually branches up here. So this is just a redundant crossover which connects forward. So that's the only reason I'd like to keep it, is because it does allow for a forward connection. But if push comes to shove and we decide to get rid of this, I'll get rid of this entire part here up to this point. What I also did to facilitate more torpedo storage is this used to come down to here. Well, I went ahead and removed it here and removed it here and then extended it over here and then down into here. This way here, and I also set this area up so if we decide to go with a double story additional torpedo storage here, it's all set to go. All we have to do is close off this corridor and turn all this magenta here into standard wool and get rid of this room. This room should stay because it's not affecting down here, as you can see. Anyways, so that allows for additional torpedo storage here. Also provided torpedo unloading because I don't have a direct connection from the cargo bay here to the torpedo room. The only way we're going to be able to do it is through the Jeffries tube systems. And what I'll do here is I'll probably, on this wall here, open this up as and I should have done it already, I wasn't thinking about it, but a cargo loader will be like right here, maybe even actually closer to right here. I don't know, maybe right here would be fine for a cargo loader. And of course the cargo would go down and it'd go forward or back, whichever way it decides to go, through the pneumatic system here. And then it would, obviously, it would go this way and down, and it can either go forward or to the second revision that I did today, which is a torpedo unloader for this huge torpedo magazine right here. Now, I decided that I looked at the Ed Whitefire plans and I looked at the Steinbach plans, and I liked the way the Whitefire plans pushed the corridors back this way from the airlocks. It stands to reason, because if you take a direct torpedo hit here, you don't want it blowing out the entire deck by taking out both airlocks. So this one, it allows for them to shut off this side of the ship or isolate this side of the ship, and then you have your crossover corridor here. Of course, your entrance to the torpedo magazine and main torpedo room would be off to the side. Kind of reminiscent of the way that Star Trek, the Enterprise A, does it. So I kind of like that. It, it sold itself on me. Anyways, the rest of it's all the same back through here. This also allowed me to move the emergency EVA the EVA locker to right here. This is still a large conference room or whatever, and then of course quarters, and then whatever these rooms here decide to be. Let me clear that. I also pathed out if we decided to break the spine off at this point, because I don't think I was real clear about that, but anyways, that the spine would come down along here. This would have to be slightly modified so that the spine could go through it. So, basically the tank would still sit here, because this is only 2x2, so the tank would still sit there. We'd just have the tank come through like this, like in a horseshoe. So, it actually would look like a screw head. If you look at it, it would just be a double wide screw head. And the tank would still maintain its shape, but it would just form around where this goes through it. And then it would come back. That's just one idea. And it would come back, and then it would go down just like it does on the Enterprise E, all the way down behind the warp core and back. Now, M did mention, of course, that he has M did mention, of course, that she has a completely different warp core for the area. So this area might actually be too small, it might be too big, I don't know. I can't imagine it being much larger than this, But if it is, we still have plenty of room, because all of these decks down here have not been even, they're just, at this point, just being sketched out. So this is all subject to change. But an additional pathing would be to come off the back, which will probably be the more likely one. Either come off right here or move it over by one and then come straight down, so it's more centered between these two masses. So it would be like this here. So it'd come down like that. And then into here, and then go down further. That's also possible. Now, I'm not sure how we're going to pull this off, because this is a Jeffries tube, and in some of the shows it's also a turbo lift. Go figure that one out. So yeah, but we're going to keep it as a Jeffries tube for now. We'll probably change it or not change it depending on him, and it can come all the way up in here, and we can redesign this area if need be for it to accommodate it, which would be kind of a good idea, because I think the Jeffries tube system, because it actually exits right here, pushing it up into this deck and then redesigning this area a little bit to accommodate it would be a good idea, because all the Jeffries tubes coalesce right to this point. So this would be our connection to the main hall as well through Jeffries tube systems. This just goes down and into the grotto area, back in the rear grotto area, and you'd fly up here. And then you're up here on deck 8, and then from deck 8, the turbolift system, or excuse me, the Jeffries tube system's right up here. And then this all connects into the saucer. So it's pretty much a straight shot. Also right here is also a straight shot, because the turbolift system, excuse me, I keep saying turbolift when I mean Jeffries tube system. Jeffries tube system also comes down right here, and this is the more or less direct connection back. And so you would exit the turbolift again, the Jeffries tube, and you'd walk along this power trunk or transfer node, whatever this is, and then you would go down into the secondary hall all the way down to main engineering. So that's kind of how that's the way we envision it. So, or the way I've envisioned it. I mean, it seems logical, but you know how things, sometimes ideas and logic don't always, and art don't always mix, so things get changed. But I did buy us bumper room through here by doing some rework. And again, I would like to keep this if possible, because it is right at the top of the engine, so I don't think it really matters. But I did buy us bumper room here and bumper room here. So yeah, and to get up in here, to get down, all it would be like, you could either use the Jeffries tube, or we could put up like a little stairwell, you know, like we did with the upper section on the impulse engine as well. So this area here can be accessed either directly off the corridor, or we can have like a little stairwell right here coming up to it. So, which is, you know, not a bad thing, because if you look, stairwell would work just fine. You would just basically 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4 up to this. So that's probably what it'll be. In fact, I'll probably just sort of mark that in. Anyways, that's pretty much it as far as clarification goes. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But yeah, it's coming together. I'm going to start work on the tanks now. Those are going to take some time to do. I'm not really looking forward to it, but yay, or the tank, the big deuterium tanks. Big deuterium tank. Let me show it to you here real quick. Blue Phobes designed this in SketchUp. It's a really cool concept. Now I tried to work this into the hull itself, but I couldn't do it. But I'm going to keep a lot of what Blue did for designs like with this class. So when you come through the tank here, you kind of see the deuterium and stuff, which you're literally floating through a big bomb at that point. Now these are directly lifted from the Enterprise D. I'm not really sure if M wanted to incorporate all this crap into the JJ or not, but it's where the tank and stuff is, excuse me, into the Enterprise D there. This is where the tank and stuff is, so probably she wants this stuff incorporated in some way. So when I do the tanks, I'm going to have to kind of use this as a guide if I can. M should be back today, so hopefully she'll be able to come back and provide some insight. But I think that both the Sternbach and the Whitefire plants do a good job with what to do with the tank area. So I'll mock it up to be for the stern block, and then we can make adjustments as needed to compensate for the Whitefire integration stuff. So, and then basically be a hybrid with a lot of our own custom design work. So anyways, thanks for watching and have a great night.